Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a little bit here. We are getting close to our second baby being born, so we've been really busy, but I wanted to take some time and catch up with you guys and give you some investments for the upcoming week. I think there are some really investable options right now, so want to help you out here and just catch up a little bit on the market. If you like today's video, all that I ask is that you like the video.
I have to be liked.
And if you're new here, consider subscribing. You'll make a lot more coins being here than if you're not here.
Well, duh.
If you guys watched my last video, I kind of referenced team of the group stage being kind of a landmark time where the market starts to dip down a little bit. It typically came with high pack weight and a lot of supply on these cards. I do want to let you guys know that EA lowered the pack weight this year, and that's within their right. We kind of go off past trends, and they had high pack weight, like 10% pretty much the last few years. This year, they lowered it to 1 or 2%. The pack weight of these cards was a lot lower, so they don't have as much supply, but they've released a lot of lightning rounds. They even did them at like 12 a.m. UK, 2 a.m. UK, 4 a.m. UK. They went kind of nuts with this. Although the pack weight was lower, there is still a lot of supply on these cards, and that does in return hurt the market a little bit. For example, when you can get a card like Ben Rama, who's definitely a decent cam for 28k, it's not good for other cams in the Premier League. Even the Salah is 835k. His player of the month at the time was like 800, so that's nice for a tradable option. Vinny's down to 667. He was like 850k day one. So these cards have come down pretty nicely, and they are really meta cards. The meta market is dropping slowly. It's not as rapidly as years past, but keep in mind, I honestly do expect it to continue to drop because the next promotion we have is actually going to be Foot Freeze, which starts on Friday, and there's going to be mini alternates to team because there's so many SBCs coming out at that time that people will substitute those SBCs in their team. They won't have as many tradable cards to sell, so I think that the market's going to keep trending down in that way. A lot of you guys have asked me about this Holland from Wish. He was in Holland's rap video. I don't know if we can find a little clip to insert here, but he was actually in Holland's rap video, so that's pretty funny. A lot of you have asked me about investing in him because what happened with the signature signings. I do want to talk about that for a second because the signature signings move was actually really quite an obvious trade. I want to say I don't think anyone expected the outcome. I don't think anyone expected these cards to go so high, but the idea behind it was extremely simple. So I will cover this for a second because this was some of the biggest profit made in Foot. I made like 7 million. I could have made like 50 million, so I kind of am beating myself up for not investing further. My wife and I were actually watching a movie when I was buying on Companion. I should have just went downstairs and went on Design.
No, God!
Anyways, these were like literally 28 to 30k before going out of packs, and what happened with the signature signings is you needed them in very popular SBCs. So you needed them for cards like Benzema, Chiellini, and then Gelson were the three. For one thing, this Benzema is about as popular, if not more popular, than Fekir. So he's literally one of the most completed SBCs on Foot this year. If you guys played Weekend League this weekend, I played a little bit. You saw him in most teams, I'm sure. Great card, okay?
Okay.
And he needed a signature signings card as a requirement. So what happened was these fodder type cards, Carlson, Edwards, Mendy even got their, Kramaric, which is crazy. They all got their, Witzel, Jimenez. They all started to push up in price. And you're seeing that on their graphs. I kind of showed you this. They went from 30k. Literally, they peaked at 95k. I'm not kidding. I sold a few at 90 to 95 myself. In reality, it was a really simple investment because what happened was signature signings went out of packs on Tuesday. And Benzema, Chiellini, and Gelson were still out for days after that, like literally through Thursday, Friday. There was 3 days where people were spamming and completing SBCs, right? And there was just no supply of these cards. So these cards went from literally 28k to 95k, which is absolutely nutty. You guys might have seen Joao on Twitter. Great trader, fantastic trader. He made 100 million coins off this, which is absolutely nuts. He went all in on it. Again, I think it was just a kind of a mixture of things. One being a super obvious investment, and I predicted they would go up for sure. I shouted them in Discord. I bought a lot myself. For anyone saying you thought they would go 80 to 90k, I don't believe that. I think that no one predicted that kind of a rise. I expected them to peak at literally like maybe 40k, maybe 50k tops, but they pretty much doubled in that price. What happened was people just continued to spam complete those SBCs. They just skyrocketed in price, and it was absolutely crazy. I sold most of mine around 70k. They went even higher than that. It was just an insane thing to see. With that being kind of showcased and highlighted, a lot of us posted on Twitter. Joa's tweet kind of got trendy, kind of got shown by some bigger names. Everyone's like, should we invest in the cheaper promotion cards? And the idea is just that they're going to replicate that. They're going to say like, oh, we'll require one team of the group stage card in some SBCs. Should we invest? And the issue is, it's not always that simple. And the signature signings, like I said, had a very unique scenario where we knew they were required. It was not an option. It wasn't if. We knew they were required, and they were going out of packs while the SBCs were still out. That was the most obvious investment for a trader, honestly, that we could have in a while. There's demand for them. There's no supply. They're going to rise. But now you kind of have to play the odds, because if EA don't ask for anything that requires team of the group stage, you're going to lose 6K a card on this. And people think it's going to magically bounce up to like 50K, and if they ask for it, he will go pretty high, but it's just not always that simple. And because it's so fresh in people's mind, I mean, this card's not good. He's like pretty much impossible to link. And people buying at 16 and 18K have the opportunity to make some coins, sure, but they could also lose a lot of coins here. So now there's much more risk to it. Before the mini release came out, he was the only fodder card, so it seemed like almost impossible they would ask for it because he would go extinct. Now they have Toko and Benrama's down a little bit. It's getting more possible they could ask for it, but we've already had a few SBCs where they haven't, so kind of risky at this point. I'm not investing at that price point. It's too high for me, just so you guys know. All right, we should be all caught up here. Now let's get into some investments. I know that's what you guys love being here for, so I want to talk about the moves that I love right now and why. And to be honest with you guys, the main thing I've been watching myself for Discord, for anyone, is literally just SBC fodder cards. We got so much supply this weekend, and the SBCs haven't been great. We got Hilaire, who is Eredivisie. He's not a crazy meta card or anything like that. And then we got one other, I'm going to blank on the name. It's like Namacha or something. Let me double check this quick. Namacha, he doesn't have a big enough upgrade to his weak footer skills to make him worthwhile, in my opinion. So fodder's still pretty low right now, okay? Okay. The reason why a lot of us are looking at fodder, again, including myself, is because we have foot freeze coming up on Friday, and that's a fact. A lot of the team is out. I'm not going to cover that in this video, but maybe I'll make a separate video on leaks and that kind of culture there. But foot freeze is coming out, and there should be, I hope, daily player SBCs. Usually in December is the time where we see fodder really take off. And I brought up an example here. It's going to be pretty much synchronized between all fodder, so I just pulled up one card for this short example. And this is Brozovic. He's an 84 rated in FIFA 21, and I want to kind of show you his graph and what it looked like. Up until, say, like Black Friday, he was kind of peaking around like 5-6K max, and this was kind of like a peak price point for 84s at the time based off content. And what you'll see is that this year's kind of similar. But what you're seeing is when Footmas started, it became much more feasible for him to peak past 7K. So here he is at 7.7. A few days later, he's at pretty much 8K, 8.9K. And then he goes all the way up to 10K. So this is a kind of a breaking point in the year, in my opinion, where fodder can go to new levels of heights. And that is because of the player SBCs we're constantly getting. We should start to see party bags throughout this time too, and a little bit further. But what you're seeing here is that there's so much potential in it that not shouting it is kind of silly, okay? So this would have been a good buy point for him at 4.8K. And now at this point in the year, these are actually a little bit cheaper. So let me bring you over to FIFA 22, and I want to show you something. 84s are still really low, right? They're at 3K pretty much PS, and 3.2 or 3.3K on Xbox. He's up a little bit, and I kind of want to show you his price graph here. And it's kind of cool if Footbin added features where you can kind of coordinate graphs and charts, and I wanted to show you the trajectory I kind of see for fodder happening. And he peaked up to 5.4K. I think this is when the initial hero and icon SBCs came out, and then back down, and that his new low point was like 2.8, which is about where he's at now, all the way up to 4K, all the way down to 3.2K, all the way up to 4.6K. So right now you're pretty much investing on these low trajectories, right? He's sitting at, you can easily bid on this, I'm sure, for 3K PS, which is his new low in my opinion. I don't think he's going to drop much under this. He's very easily going to go to 4K. And then with the right SBC sets, I think he can go to 5K. So if you're investing in a lot of these cards for say 3K and you're selling at 5K, that is a massive ROI. These aren't type of trades where you buy one of typically. You would buy like 10, 20, 30, 40, make 2K a card, 100K profit, 200K profit, 300K profit. It's kind of exponential what you can make.
Here comes the money. Here we go.
December is that breaking point on SBC fodder. I want to show you one more thing here. Just another graph signifying it. And these 83s, in my opinion, are really, really good examples for it. I like center mids a lot this year. I think you can use them in most formations. And what I would be looking for if you're looking to invest in fodder is I like 83 to 85 in rating. Let me be really clear about that. I think that 83 to 85 in rating will offer the biggest return on investment. You might make less per card, but it'll be a bigger ROI. So you just have to buy more cards. And that's always the debate with fodder. Like for me, I have 30 million coins on one of my accounts, and I would just never buy 83s and 84s. If anything, I would have to pay someone to do it because I'm just not going to sit that long and buy that many cards. I think it's really silly. I'll link the video for how to go unassigned if you want to see how to buy more than 100 if you're confused about that at the end of the video. I'm not buying that many cards. So I personally have 85, 86, 87, 88. I don't want to buy 10,000, 20,000 cards, etc. It's too boring for me. That's not what I like to do personally.
Boring.
If people want to go nuts though, they can buy these parties at like 900 coins. If you look, he's already peaked at 1.7 and upwards of 2.7k. If you want a super obvious investment right now, I'll tell you this party at 900 coins, 950 coins, he is probably going to double within like a week or two. So if you want to double your coins, why not take it? And there's not many trades where I can confidently say that, hey, this is really low right now and I think this will double, but this is one of them. He is a little bit higher on Xbox right now, but he's also peaked higher. You'll kind of see that on Xbox. Fodder peaks a little bit higher, but if you can get him around like 1.1 on Xbox, I think that is a good price there. And like I said, I do like the center mids a lot this year. I've noticed that they've risen pretty darn well. So let me give you one more example. And SBC fodder tends to do a little bit better on Xbox than PS. So if you're on Xbox, you have to be trading with SBC fodder a lot this year, but it's an easy way to multiply your coins. You could turn 5 million coins into 10 million. 10 million into 20 million for a few big trades, and literally that's all you would need to do. I also like this Arthur. He's peaked at 3.3k. He's got really, really strong links. Again, if you can get him around 1.1k on both consoles, I think he has potential to double within a week or two. Those are some investments I like directly, but stick to 83 to 85 in rating if you're willing to buy enough cards to make it worthwhile. The other route you can take is just club stocking. Right now, fodder is very, very low in price. If you want to buy one of pretty much all cards 83 to 89 in rating, I have absolutely no problem with it. If you're on a big budget, I think that will turn into a lot of coins within a week or two, maybe 3 weeks on some of them, but why not? They just sit in your club and their price is going to rise and you don't even have to think about it. Those are some investments you can make right now to carry into freeze. I will do one more video I plan to do for daily SBC investing for free, so make sure you have the notification bell on. And I want to help you guys out, want to help you make coins, and I have some good ideas for you there. If you're new to the channel and you like today's video, please consider subscribing. Really helps me out, really encourages us to put out good content. And thanks for tuning in today. Have a great day. Peace.